fake news everywhere. Who will be the one to bring light to our dark, decrepit existence? Who will be the one to tell us, friend from foe? Who will be there when we're scared and alone and afraid? Because we don't know. That 413 chicken nuggets is probably too many chicken nuggets.
Demonetization process begin.
Let me tell you about fact-checking websites, these holy bastions and gatekeepers of awesome authority in all things internet-related, and you know that's the case because the ever-wise boys at Facebook have deemed sites such as PolitiFact, ABC News, FactCheck.org, and especially our boys over at Snopes as such beacons of truth and light in our dark and twisted world. And why wouldn't they? With such good works bestowed upon us, plebs so mercifully by the light of the world Snopes, to answer the age-old questions of, does this photograph show 8 rainbows? Did ISIS really ban pigeons? Can you recharge your cell phone in a microwave oven? I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I consult my Snopes lamp in all things, daily. O divine lamp, I am your humble servant, a representative of the people's burning questions, and your prophet here on earth, sent to bridge the divide between your divine word and the people who know not what they know. I have with me a number of the burning questions from the people, and I ask of you only answers.
Ask me your questions, my children. I am but your humble servant, ready to give you the answers you seek.
Tell me the truth of the Slender Man.
He's merely a legend.
Did Melania Trump wear a pussy bow blouse to presidential debate in 2016?
Unfortunately, this was true.
Was a man hospitalized to remove an anally lodged fidget spinner?
Luckily, this was false.
Is chocolate on track to go extinct in 40 years?
Another case of falsities you'll be happy to know.
Does sniffing rosemary increase memory by 75%?
False.
Praise be my lamp! What would we do without Snopes? The lamp, the light of our world, to light our way in this dark existence we call life. Huzzah! Huzzah!
What is the matter, my loyal priestess?
This can't be a question worthy of your high esteem, my lord.
Go on, my child. I am here to answer all inquiries of me. I am the light. I am the way. My truth is the only truth.
All right. Did CNN purchase an industrial-sized washing machine to spin news?
You've got to be f***ing.
Recently, our boys at Snopes saw fit to fact-check the Babylon Bee, a right-leaning satirical news website, when they put out the following article. Georgia lawmaker claims Chick-fil-A employee told her to go back to her country. Later clarifies he actually said, "My pleasure." To be quite frank, not even one of their better pieces, the Babylon Bee, can do so much better, honestly. But the fact-checking by Snopes of the Babylon Bee started a stream of hellfire to be launched post-haste at the fact-checking website on the internet for all to bask in the glory of. Which is interesting, because this isn't even the first time that Snopes has felt the need to fact-check satire with articles such as Katy Perry's plea for coexistence inspires ISIS to surrender, and do California Christians need to register Bibles as assault weapons? But the backlash they faced as a result from the public was peak. 10 out of 10 would meme again, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, never one to miss out on a joke, the Babylon Bee didn't hesitate to contribute their own mark on the event in question. But that's not everything. In a big-brained attempt to save face, Snopes decides to put this gem out there on the internet. Study: too many people think satirical news is real. In this article, they make an attempt to not only justify their existence, but also to step in on Gallup poll's turf, stating that, quote, "Our team of communication researchers has spent years studying misinformation, satire, and social media. Over the last several months, we've surveyed Americans' belief about dozens of high-profile political issues. We identified news stories, both true and false, that were being shared widely on social media." Which means that Snopes is not only touting the fact that they are a certified, not fake news site, thank God, but they also, in fact, have a degree in research methods and statistics from the University of— Shut up, Mom, I know what I'm talking about. I watched a YouTube video about it one time. You know that they're correct, because they also have this handy little infographic complete with a download link which you can click to have access to the raw data itself. Now, I don't mean to oversaturate you people with big-brained high IQ shenanigans that you could never possibly hope to understand because you don't have any fancy degrees from anywhere nearly as prestigious as the Ohio State University. But allow me to present you with the raw data so that you may bask in the intellectualism of this study. If you should feel the need to look further into this research, you'd have to follow the link Snopes provides to the article they copy-pasted from the conversation and scroll all the way to the bottom to find the link that directs you to the 7-page paper informing you about the methodology of this study. I've taken the liberty of just going ahead and linking it in the description so that you don't have to tire out your mouse hand with all of that effort, but that's all that I'm going to say about that. The point here, folks, is that Snopes, in all of its intellectual gatekeeping, neglected to ward itself in this instance against any possibility of mockery, disbelief, or doubt. And that is the biggest irony of them all. It's actually rather insulting for people to actually believe that satire, in fact, needs to be fact-checked, especially obvious satire. Because it touts this notion of, well, they can't look into it themselves. Furthermore, how do you think it must feel to have gone through all of journalism school and have this be your legacy, your long-standing, long-lasting, immortal legacy on the internet? It's gotta suck. Don't get me wrong, fake news is a problem in our media cycle, without a doubt, and that's allowed for the rise of fact-checking sites such as Snopes, PolitiFact, and variants thereupon that people rely on entirely too much in their day-to-day lives. I mean, if you ever get into a debate with anyone about anything, you're bound to come across one of these websites being touted as the overall authority on what is and isn't true. These websites are a product of the conveniences that humans also love to engorge themselves on daily. But in reality, the only thing that they're really good for is finding links to sources of greater information pools that haven't been pruned for, say, narrative or for brevity's sake. To be quite frank, that's actually why my descriptions are so god-awfully long if you ever take the time to actually look into them. Because I believe that people should do their own fact-checking about things that they care about. Yeah, and sure, maybe they'll slip up from time to time, get it wrong, or be lazy and just believe whatever it is that's being touted. I'm certainly guilty of that from time to time, and no one's perfect. But we have to realize that no one is really an authority on truth necessarily just because they say that they are, or because they have established that reputation as being the gatekeeper of what is and isn't fact. Whatever truth is being given out to people needs to be backed up by information, by sources, by links to primary sources, I guess you could say, checked and then double checked, because we're all just as biased as the next 10 people down the line, and no one's immune from that. So do your own research. Don't rely on these websites as a crutch. And the moment that you start to, probably a no bueno situation, my friends.